guys, welcome back to another video of Life with the Wards, where we talk all things marriage and military.
If you guys want to continue seeing more, my nose itches. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Yes, hit those buttons down below for us, please, guys. We are back with another video. We know it's been a while.
Yeah.
But we have been very busy, and we'd love to give you guys an update if you're curious about where we've been. But most of you probably are like, we're just glad you're back. We don't really care.
Yeah.
So we completely understand. Guys, let us know, how is your weekend going? How's our weekend going?
Going good so far?
Yes, it is.
It's getting hot here, though.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's getting very hot here. But I am super excited because right after we filmed for today, we're going to go take my graduation photos, y'all. I did it. I graduated college. I'm also first generation graduate, so that's pretty cool too.
It's always great.
Yeah, so super excited about that. But yes, let us know, y'all. How have y'all been doing? How's our family out there? Okay, what do we always start with, my love?
The woke quote.
The woke quote. So let's go ahead and get into it for this week.
So, this week's woke quote reads, "A good marriage is one which allows for change and growth in the individuals and in the way they express their love."
Ooh, very true. I feel like we have hinted, or not necessarily hinted, but I think we have talked about this before, and you guys can let us know in the comments, because I know for sure I've always talked about, like, definitely how being a young couple, you always have to understand that the person we are today is not going to be the person that we are 20 years from now, 10 years. I hope not to be. I hope that I've grown and evolved.
Right. And that, yeah, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
That we're not going to be the same.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. And I feel like it is so important to make space for that growth. Mm-hmm. Now, we're not always saying it's going to look beautiful. We're not always going to say it's just going to be sunflowers, because sometimes the way you may grow as a person could definitely affect the other person, and sometimes it could not be for the better. Like, it could be good for you but not so great for them, and you guys have to work through that. Right. But I do believe that a good marriage definitely leaves I can't talk, y'all, and something's in my eye at the same time, give me grace. A good marriage does leave space, to evolve in growing as a person, and definitely for the love.
Yeah, it's funny how, like, I feel like the way I express my love has changed, as well as in ways I want you to express love. So it's interesting to see a change over time.
Yeah. I think that, how would you say, like, about love languages? Like, I think that's a huge thing. And you guys let us know about down below, what do you think our love languages are?
That's a good question.
What do you think our love languages are? I'm not going to say it. We'll definitely let you know in the next video if you're right or if you're wrong, okay? Or we probably will just comment back to you guys too, but we'll probably say it in the next video.
Probably.
But my question was, with love languages, without saying which ones ours is, I have to tell myself that to remember. What do you think is, like, do you ever see, like, my love language kind of evolving to yours a little bit over the time of our relationship, or vice versa? Like, you know what I mean?
I don't know if I'd say, like, I'm taking yours and doing it because I like it now.
Right, no, of course
But I
not.
definitely, like, have seen us both compromise for each other's language.
Right. Like, because I know, don't say the love language, but I'm trying not to, y'all, so I don't spoil it. I know that there are times where, because, like, I know this is your love language, I'll grow myself in that love language to give to you, if that makes sense, and vice versa. Yeah. That's kind of what I mean.
I used to fight it.
Yeah. So we have grown, y'all, because I think I used to fight it too. But I think I'm becoming, I don't know if I want to say that quite yet, but I feel like sometimes I have my moments where his love language is kind of mine a little bit, but we'll talk about that later. But
he always wants what I have.
Yeah. I have to. Look, we've been matching today, guys. We're all in purple. He put purple on, and then I was like, I'm gonna put purple on. But anyway, that's just because he's such a good role model. But yeah, okay, we've chatted enough about our woke quote. We'd love to know down below what it means to you. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and hop into this week's video. Okay, or this week's topic. We're already in the video.
We're already in the
video. What am I saying? Okay. this week's topic. Anyway, as you can tell by the title, you can tell what we're going to be talking about this week. And I think this is a very important subject. We both do.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, it can be the thing that can break a relationship or a marriage in the military. I've definitely heard about it. So I think it's very important that we talk about it. Want to open up the floor, my love?
Sure. This topic is about, being able to not, I guess, be a one-trick pony and just have your entire life be the military.
Mm-hmm.
I know I definitely struggle with it. I find it hard to just turn it off when it comes to coming home and just being here with my beautiful wife instead of, well, let me tell you about my military day and everything I did. And it's hard to not let it just be what I am and consume my life. And especially like going home and not being anywhere near the military is like, well, this is all I know. So let me talk about it and be that becomes my personality is the guy in the military.
Yeah. Do you think it's because like you said, like this is kind of all I know, but do you also feel like would you say you're more confident within military subjects and what have you than maybe civilian oriented ones, or you could relate more, you know what I mean?
It's definitely a combination. Being in the Marine Corps is just something to be proud of. Not everybody can do it.
Absolutely.
So being in it already, you're very prideful, and then I guess I should use pride again. Pride in I'm passionate about my job and work in the military. So it's like I want to go and like tell my friends like, hey, like I'm doing great, but they don't speak the military
lingo,
language.
Yeah, and they're
my
just
job
like,
and everything. They're like,
what's going on?
I'm just here. So it's hard because it hits on both fronts.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is my career as of right now, and this is what I love to do, and I want to be able to like tell you about it and let you know that I'm really good at what I do.
Right.
But it doesn't transfer to the civilian talk, and it's hard for people to relate to me unless they are prior service. And then I don't have a bunch of civilian, I guess, interactions, just where we are right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of my friends are back in Texas.
Gotcha. I also, and please don't get us wrong, we're never saying that like, oh, it's not okay to discuss the military outside of the military or anything like that. But it's the matter of not allowing it to consume you completely. Like once a Marine, always a Marine.
Of course.
We know that. But like for example, and we're going to get to me, y'all. So please don't be like, why are you bullying this man? Trust me. We're going to get to me in just a second. But I noticed like, we would be at dinner, with another couple friends or even family, and military subjects would be brung up on his behalf. But it's just like, you want to be someone outside of that. And I think the best thing to do, and you can tell me if this is right or wrong, if this has helped you, is to kind of have like the conversation be initiated the other way. Because I feel like sometimes like when you initiate the conversation, you're like, so let me tell you about this crazy thing that happened at work, or let me tell you.
I can just keep going.
And he can keep going and keep going. And we're all just sitting there like, what does that acronym mean?
And it was funny because I wasn't conscious about this until a couple months ago when you asked me the question, like,
who are you outside
who are
of the
you?
military?
Who is Jeremy? And I was like, I'm like, gosh darn, United States Marine.
Say it loud.
But I was like, and you were like, what else? I was like, kind of it. Like I like these couple hobbies, but like that's pretty much it. And that's when I was like, man, she's really really right. I don't really have anything because this is all I've been doing for the past 3 years, and it's not
4 in a couple months.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, August. Yeah, we're in May. I asked him that question because I could just tell that, and I should have known a long time ago, but I was really seeing like a repetitive pattern of him just kind of like getting sucked into the military personnel that he has, and only that. or persona, I should say. And so, like you said, I asked you, like, who is Jeremy? Who is Jeremy? And he, at first, you were just kind of like, I kind of like these things, but blah, blah, blah. And I asked him to think about who he was before the military, think about the things that he enjoyed before the military. And also now that he's in the military, like, what are those things that have transferred over, and what are new things that possibly he's gained. And so I feel like that was really interesting. I'm glad to know that it did open you up to that realization, because you can be more aware of it, and sometimes we don't know that we're supposed to be aware of something unless it's brought to the table. I know I'm bad with that. Unless you bring it to the table.
Yeah, I keep catching myself, like, if I'm talking to somebody and I'll just go off on a military tangent. I'm like, oh, that's what she's talking about. There it is.
Yeah, and it's like, and again, it's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not bad to talk about the military, but be someone, and that's not just the military. I mean, this is a military subject, of course, but I would encourage anyone to apply this in any position that they're in, whether it's work or
I'm solely a lawyer.
Yeah, like I always say, like, too much of anything isn't good. And you just want to be well-rounded, to be able to not necessarily fit into social circles, but be able to contribute possibly in circles that you are interested in contributing in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, y'all. We finna hop on my case.
I was just about to ask you, do you think this has affected you?
Oh, it's affected me, y'all. I almost didn't get a job because of how bad this was for me. Okay, so for me, I have the issue of that question where they're like, tell me a little bit about yourself, right? Like in the interview process, the first thing I said was, I'm a military wife. I'm a Marine Corps military wife. And they were just like, okay, and don't get me wrong, like the whole interview went good. I ended up saving it. But long story short, like the first thing that came out of my mouth, and not just in that interview, I had noticed for me in several circles as well, new circles of people who didn't know me, it was the first thing that I would offer up. And again, it's because I do take pride in being a military wife, but I also just take pride in being your wife. Like, I feel like even if you weren't in the military, the first thing I would tell someone is, I'm married. And I realized that who are you outside of that, and so long story short, the interview was going great. I said that, and then next thing you know, that opened up like a whole box of questions about, are you flexible with work? How does your spouse feel about you working? Because I understand that being in the military is a tedious job, and XYZ, and especially because civilians don't understand that some military jobs are 9 to 5. They are not like frontline, combat oriented, like,
that's the warrior, baby.
They just see that. And so it was very much like, now they're kind of picking in my life to, kind of insinuate that my world revolves around yours, which is a little bit true as a military wife. Depends a little bit, depending on what time of year we're in or what have you. Right. But yeah, I had to like take a step back and be like, please don't misunderstand me. I am a military spouse. I am very proud of that. My husband works. He has no problem with me working, yada, yada, yada. And I was able to recover and I got the job. But that really woke me up to understand, like,
can't just fire from the hip with it.
Well, I can't just hide, not necessarily hide, but I am more than a military spouse. I am more than a wife. I'm a girl who loves to read. I'm a girl who loves God, which I always tell anybody anyhow. I'm a girl who loves my cats. I'm a girl who has a passion for helping others. All of this other stuff that could have came off top. So I feel like it has. I have struggled with it as well.
There was definitely times where you would go to lunch with a friend here, and I'd be like, oh, like, what do you guys talk about? Like, probably just girl stuff. And you're like, you. Yeah. I was like, huh? Like probably makes sense. Like, oh, my husband does this, and you're right. And I was like, well, what else? And you're like,
that's it. We just related on our husbands. Yeah.
military.
That is so funny that you bring that up because I'm looking back, I'm thinking back, y'all, and I'm like, that is very true. Just to give some context, the other person was military oriented as well, and it was like a solid foundation of something we both could discuss. But at the same time, it was probably also great to get away from that and just talk about ourselves, which we did eventually, but not on that day.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just wanted to say that I would say some tips for any military spouses out there that you feel like, well, I don't have a job and I just have the kids, or XYZ. Lean into your hobbies, discuss those things, maybe your beliefs, maybe other things in your life that you are proud of, that you have accomplished when talking to other people, or better yet, let them initiate, let them discuss something, and maybe something comes from that. But understand that it is important to have boundaries. Yeah, no, you're fine.
I was gonna say your own identity outside.
100%. That's the beautiful way to put it, y'all. I'm lost for words today. Having your identity outside of the military is super, super important. If anything, it's gonna ensure that when you do go into your role, back to your job or what have you, you're able to just be that more energetic and passionate about it because you have those separate boundaries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Within it, you're not just 365 days. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure somebody's going to be in my comments and be like, oh, well, once a Marine, always a Marine, you never take a break from the job.
And I don't. But at least, I don't have to overload somebody else when they didn't even ask about it.
Right.
I can be like, oh, yes, I love baseball and talk about that. Instead of just man, this one guy at my job.
Yeah, right? Just military. I've also understood that a lot of people can't turn it off, and it does affect marriages. And what I mean by that is there have been spouses who do end up going home. I'm not going to put any specific names or anything, but I did definitely do my research and find this out, that there are spouses that will go home and they're treating their wife or their husband like that PFC or that corporal, like demanding them around, and it just changes the entire dynamic of their relationship. So that's why I do say it's very, very important to have those boundaries and keep it separate, because it can seep into your personal life and cause problems.
And if you let it.
Yeah, so find a hobby if you don't have one. If you do, try to do it in your free time, when you're not on duty or, in the uniform. And military spouses, wives, husbands, support that. I know Jeremy's a huge gamer. I really try to lean into that, make sure he has time to play with his friends. Even the days he does not play with his friends, I'm always like, why aren't you playing with your friends? Because I want him to do other things. You want to have a full life, and life's too short.
Very true.
But anyway, do you have anything else on this topic, my love?
That's all I got.
Okay, well, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and let you guys go. But we super enjoyed this video. Let us know down in the comments what you think about everything. But until the next time, we will see you guys later. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.